guys, Stealth here, and welcome to episode 3 of the 1890s French campaign of sorts, but this looks like it's going to be a long one. In the previous 2 episodes, we've seen the rise of tensions and then eventually the spark that set off the war. The spark, which was mostly caused by me. The British and the Germans had been getting at it for some time, but the French had not. My fleet was awaiting in their ports, eager for action, and I sent them out into the North Sea to start pissing off the Germans. And they did. And it led to the war with the Germans. Ideally, these 10 battleships are going to kick the they're going to kick the German battleships out. In the meanwhile, the Italians have allied themselves with the Germans and have decided on war. Interestingly, they don't have a single battleship. They got 39 heavy cruisers, 45 light cruisers, and 66 torpedo boats. So, having at least a battleship out here is probably going to benefit me quite a bit. The problem is, I don't really have more than one available. Because I myself have 11 battleships, 10 of which are engaged on operations here in the North Sea. So only one battleship, the Solferino, which is one of the older Charles Martel class battleships, is ready for action. Now let me address the absence of Admiral's logs in this series. The reason that I'm not doing those this particular series is that I'm trying to crank these episodes out as quickly as possible. The birth of my second son, still at the time of recording at least, hasn't happened. And if it has at this point, then you will know about it through the community page on my channel. But it means that I'm trying to crank out as much content as possible, so you don't have to go a day without a video. That's why I don't have any Admiral's logs. They take more time, they take more editing, and I want to focus that on the videos instead. Now, with the war breaking out, I have a quite healthy monthly balance. I have a good amount of naval funds. I did have to send some to the British to help them out, but that did give me an alliance. So in the end, I sort of bought my alliance with the Brits. With this naval balance, this monthly balance, I want to bring new ships into the war. Considering that the Italians have quite a lot of cruisers, I'm going to need cruiser killers. And cruiser killers shouldn't be too difficult to build. These guys are armed with an okay amount of armor, a mere 6-inch guns. They're not that deadly, so my battleship does not need a ton of protection. Let's get a battleship designed. Let's see, the Battleship 5 has 88 resistance, 98 resistance for the 4, 85 and 92, and eventually 75. We also got the Ironclad battleship, but they're essentially really old designs. I think for this, I'm going to go with a Battleship 4, because it has the highest innate resistance. Well, I say that, but these things are pretty difficult to actually put guns on. Yeah, I could put guns there. But yeah, you can put guns here. Tricky. Let's make them small. Keep them cheap. No range, not required. 20 knots or so should be fine. Let's make them sleek. Again, saving on weight. Saving on engine power needed to make these things go faster. And just try and get as much accuracy crammed into these things as possible. And fairly small guns, I think. 9-inch guns should be able to punch through an armored cruiser. Especially if I make them pretty potent. And by pretty potent, I mean giving them heavy shells. I can also give gun cotton, white powder, I can increase reload, I can turn electrical 1 on, anti-torpedo systems, citadels, anti-flooding systems, which is something the other ships are not equipped with. Induced boilers, an unbalanced rudder on these, to make sure I can dodge torpedoes faster. And let's put a funnel on. 1 funnel is enough. Secondary guns. Is that even going to fit? Not there, it's not. This will fit. A couple of 6s there. That's taken up by the secondary tower. If I put them here, I'm probably going to have no, not that much of a 4-weight offset. This is quite good. Let's see. Anything else I need? Armor would be nice. Let's give them soft-capped HE shells, so the HE shells can also do a pretty nice amount of damage. Standard loadout. Standard loadout. I will not have any casemate guns on these. Unless I can go with really big ones, but this hull doesn't allow that. If these come up against a battleship, I'm probably going to have to pull them back. But I'm only going to field these in the Mediterranean, so it should not be an issue. I don't expect this to be a problem. Can I do 22 knots? No, I cannot. 21 knots is pushing it. 20 knots gives me 400 more tons for protection. So, 5 inches of armor protection. No. 3. No. 2. There. Let's see about fore and aft belts. I don't really care about fore and aft. I care about my citadel, but that's essentially the whole ship. The whole ship is the citadel. Yeah, great. 16. Oh, I want to increase the barrel length. I very much am willing to sacrifice some reload to gain some accuracy. I'm perfectly happy with that deal. Let's put 14-inch, no, 13.5 on there. That's fine. Yeah. These are the Carnot class battleship, designed as cruiser killers. Exit. Where are we going to need these? What port would be ideal once they get finished? Which is going to take probably a year or so. Nice, Toulon, Bonifacio. No, they can't harbor them. They're too big battleships. Okay, so Nice, Toulon, and Marseille. All right. Let's get a couple of the Carnots. There, 5 of those. The Carnots. Where are we going to harbor these? You, and you. You're going to sit in Nice. And you two are going to go to Marseille. 13 months to build. So until then, we'll just have to hold out. Speaking of, Solferino going into battle with an escort of the Condé and the Leopard T-18 against 3 light cruisers. That's a lot of 4-inch guns. It means I'm going to pull the Leopard right away from the conflict and have the Condé and the Solferino fight it out with the 3 lights. Let's see where these guys are at. You are not going to scout, you're going to retreat. You're going to join the battleship in a div. Normal formation is fine, and we're going to find the enemy. Wait. You... what? Why is the Condé the division leader? I want the Condé to be with Solferino, not the other way around. Here. Know your place, peasant. You're a heavy cruiser. I don't need the Solferino following the heavy cruiser around. That would be silly. Enemy to the north. Okay, let's go kill him. Contact has been established. The enemy is quite close, at 4.5 kilometer range. But, since I have spent a lot of money on training, as well as getting longer barrels, and getting rangefinder coincidence 1, I can get a pretty damn good first shot. 17%. This means that these heavy cruisers should go down fairly swiftly. My instinct to turn away from them is not strictly necessary, because I believe that their torpedo range is a mere 1? Yeah, 0.9, so I can get really quite close. Yep, destroyed main gun and instantly flooding the light cruiser. I believe that they're going to have a very hard time doing damage to my ship. Yes, they can penetrate the superstructure, they can damage the towers, but that's about it. That's where we draw the line. There we go, damaged the main tower. Destroyed main gun. Well, there's no shortage of main guns on these cruisers, because they got a lot of those. Look at this, it's one of the galleon class, sort of. Except that all of these secondaries, 3-inchers, these casemates, are really not going to be doing that much useful stuff. Because they can't. Alright, Solferino. Let's make short work of these guys. Got the Asteria, the Negeli, and something else. The Pier Caponi. How much armor do you have? 2.5 inch on the main belt plus 38%. 10% is 0.26, so let's say they get another 0.6, 0.7 maybe, that's 3.3 inches of armor. That means my high explosive will kill you. High explosive. Just the battleship though, not the heavy cruiser. Destroyed main gun. Very good. Very good. If these light cruisers really wanted to hurt the battleship, they would not stay at range. Because they're really struggling to deal damage. Their torpedoes are far more threatening, but the AI does not know how to use those, fortunately. And aside from that, the torpedoes are horribly inaccurate and unpredictable. What on earth are you doing? Go here. If you don't want to be next to the flagship, then at least go do something useful. Switch target to the Nagili. 15% accuracy. I really like this. 100% chance to pen. Flat surface. Very nice. And I can close in another kilometer or so before I have to start worrying about torpedoes. Nice. That was an overpen with high explosive. That was a really good hit with a 6-inch gun from the heavy cruiser. And I have a pretty good chance to pen, but not as much with HE, I think. So I'm going to keep the heavy cruiser to AP. And let them pick their own ammunition. I even outranged them with the torpedoes. They got 0.9, I got 1.2. So I can fairly safely engage them with the heavy cruiser, but I don't want to take that risk. There you go. That's more like it. Solferino. Lots of damage done. One light cruiser eliminated. Price tag. 1.2 million. They're okay for a light cruiser. They're not too expensive. Asteria is coming a bit close. I don't like that. 2 clicks out. We've still got 1 kilometer safe zone. That's the Condé. Get this way. We essentially have him pincered. Not that that matters. Partial pen. Boom! Full pen. That was HE. That's why I wanted HE. With a lot of pen. So that's why I have the base fuse HE. Boom! And that was a 4-inch... No, that was a 6.9-inch gun. Because I didn't have 7-inchers at the time, so I went with the 6.9s. Boom. You should be dead. Yep, that's a lot of damage. Alright, this is going very, very well. My ships completely outclassed the Italians. They have done 29 damage, I have done 13,000. And I'm not done. Solferino. Wow, what is with your engine efficiency? Is it that terrible, or you got an unbalanced rudder? You don't. Woof. That was 2k damage. Overpen on the secondary tower. Condé, where are you going? Come back here. Come on, finish this light cruiser off. We got places to be and other ports to defend. And maybe even doing some attacking on the Italians of our own. Because I started the war with the Germans to try and get them to start sacrificing some territory and warships. But if the Italians want to play, we're going to play. It's just that my power projection in the Mediterranean is pretty lackluster. That's a bit of an understatement. I think the Pierre is going to be down any moment now. There we go, with another volley, the Pier Caponi went down. I have gained 916 victory points, which is 916 times more than the Italians got out of that one. My ships essentially were not harmed. I think I did 28,000 damage towards the end, and they did like 15. So, 3 light cruisers eliminated, some light damage to the battleship and the Condé, but we're fine. I hope that this is going to dissuade the Italians from taking further action, but I suspect that we'll have to eliminate a lot more ships before they really get the memo. So let's continue, as we defend our convoy against 2 heavy cruisers and a light. I have 2 heavy cruisers of my own, 1 light and 1 torpedo boat. let's go to action stations, defend the convoy, and make sure our economy does not suffer during this war. Enemy northwest. Off you go, and off you go. Took some searching, but we have found the enemy. And their light cruiser has already been badly beaten. Karuppiah is down to 50% structural integrity and floating quickly. At the hand of the Gemop, the Saigon, and the Hirondelle. Leopard T-17 might not survive, because as the AI hates anything that carries torpedoes with a vengeance, they always seem to prioritize torpedo boats. I don't really disagree with them, because a torpedo boat worth 0.3 million, so that's 300k, can really mess up your 1.8 million heavy cruiser. Let's not get too carried away. Come on, sink already. I don't want to get torped. Thank you. This thing does indeed present quite a threat to the Fortuna and the Gloria. Still, at this range, 6.5% chance to hit a heavy cruiser. I'm really quite happy with that. And we get a flooding hit. This is excellent news. These guys, however, have pretty good bulkheads. Maximum bulkheads on these ships. Pitch and roll, however, are terrible. Leading them to have, well, not strictly that, but it doesn't help their accuracy, at least. Because their accuracy right now is less than 2.5%. Of course, the closer I get with the Leopard, the better it's going to be. But I don't really need to sacrifice the Leopard at the moment. It's a nice distraction, but it cannot take a hit, as it has no armor. The heavy cruisers can take hits, so let's have them do what they were designed to do. Take on heavy cruisers, take on light cruisers, and eventually hunt down a torpedo boat. Though for that, their speed's a bit lacking. Fortuna and Gloria should be going down pretty quick. Especially since I don't believe that their guns are going to be nearly as accurate as mine. Let's see, 5,000 meter range, 0.5%. 5,000 meter range, 1.9%. And of course, the shorter we get, let's say 1,000 meter range, 6.7, 1,000 meter range, 19%. It's a factor of 3. That's how much more accurate these ships are. And as I go bow in, I'm largely invulnerable. Whereas if I chase them down, they will take hit after hit after hit. They'll start flooding, their rudder will stop working. And at the very least, we will chase them away from the convoy. After some fierce fighting, the heavy cruiser has been sunk. The remaining heavy cruiser, the Gloria, fighting for her life, but doing a pretty poor job at it. She is stuck. She's dead in the water. Her engines are all out. We have a torpedo going at her from the Hirondelle. Whether that will actually hit and do damage remains to be seen. It was actually a hit. It did actually do damage. It was not a dud this time. 1,300 damage. Saigon also launches 2 torpedoes. One seems to veer slightly off course, but I think it'll be enough to sink the Gloria. The convoy, nope. I was going to say the convoy is saved. Which it is, it's just that the Gloria refuses to sink. There she goes. So that was 16,000 damage done by me, 1,600 done by the enemy. So the 10 times markup, and probably going to reflect quite nicely in the amount of victory points, as I gain 200 times more victory points than the Italians. This is the type of war I like to wage. Extremely deadly, and extremely efficient. Ruthless. Okay, what battle is this? A heavy cruiser duel. Heavy cruiser Paiho of the Rochambeau 1893 class versus the San Buenaventura. This should be an interesting duel. Based on how my ships have been performing in the past, I have every confidence that I can win this fight. As this duel is going on, let's see what I can learn from the Italian design. Because we can glean quite a bit from what they have put on their ship. Their boilers are natural and their engines are steam basic. It's the most basic engine that you can get. Their iron plate armor is pretty terrible. they do not yet have, at least not installed, and that goes for all the systems that I'm about to talk about, they do not have the ability to put reinforced bulkheads on. They don't have single hull bottoms. They don't have the better armor tier. They don't have anti-flooding systems. They got hydraulic turrets as opposed to my... Well, I can go up to electric. Reloading is enhanced. Their torpedoes are 15-inch. Mine can be 17-inch. Base fuse HE. Propellants black powder. Sorry, brown powder. Bursting charge black powder. These ships, respective to mine, are old. They're just a previous generation. My ships are vastly superior. Because I have anti-torpedo protection. I have compound armor. I have steam multiple expansion engine 1. I have induced boilers. I get better propellant. Sorry, no, I got the same propellant on this ship. 16-inch torpedoes, and I have a rangefinder. Which is something that the Italians have neglected to put on their ships. And my rangefinder, my crew, and my longer barrel leads me to have an accuracy of 17% versus their 3.5%. This is why these fights are going so well. Technology. Naval technology is what I'm going for in this campaign. And I think it will work. If I don't take too many of these flooding hits. As I was looking at this battle, I had the ship pointed directly at the enemy. And I gotta say, even though it's my own design, I really love how it looks. 2 front-facing side-mounted turrets and 1 single, officially secondary gun, the 5-incher. But it just makes it look like a perfect chaser in this regard. But you gotta keep the enemy exactly pointing forward. Well, you gotta keep your own ship pointing forward at the enemy. And if you don't do that, then the other turret just refuses to fire. Let's slow the ship down, because the San Bonaventura does not need to get rammed. But I might be able to take another shot at it with the starboard torpedo launcher. There you go. Ship sunk. Nice duel. I got 1100 damage done versus 406 taken. But if you look at the Pyho, she's basically spotless. The amount of victory points that I'm gathering versus the Italians are pretty insane. At this rate, the Italians are going to be begging for peace before long. Yeah, it's just that I don't explicitly have a split against the Italians. I don't... According to this screen on the right, I don't even have war with the Italians. Because I have war with the Germans, but because they're an ally of the Germans, I still effectively have war. Right, how's research? Hull strengthening in 4 months. What are we getting? The Dreadnought hull. Yes, please. That means everything before Dreadnought 1 is obsolete. But if I can get Dreadnoughts, that's a massive boost to my navy. I still have hull construction. The reason why I'm doing hull construction a lot is because it shortens ship construction time. It still says to do. I'm not sure if it's implemented or if they want to expand the tooltip or just expand on what exactly is researched. But I hope that it does work. As for my economy, we're doing quite well. GDP is still growing. Sorry, plus 10%, very much growing. Naval budget 48 million versus the German Empire's 24 million. Their naval budget is half of mine. The Italians have similarly a naval budget half of mine. My economy has been growing so much and continues to grow so much that even though I don't have a large fleet, I could get a large fleet if I wanted to. Public opinion is that I'm respected. I have very good naval prestige, especially when compared to the Austro-Hungarians at -35. The British 31, -9 for the Italians, and -7 for the Germans. So far, so good. Several months later, we have been able to intercept a couple more heavy cruisers and a light cruiser from the Italians, which were raiding a transport of mine. How dare they? These guys are close, so I hope to be able to finish them off before they get an opportunity to take down my transports. But considering how close they start, this is going to be extremely rough. The only thing I can do is rush in with my torpedo boats, which are a mixture of the Jaguar class and the Leopard class. It means we're going to have to split off the Jags, because the Jags are far faster. They can do 30 knots versus the Leopard, which is an older design, 28 knots. So these two are going to detach. It means that the Jags which have a really weird icon, because they're essentially really weird ships, can rush towards the enemy. The Leopards, same deal. Try not to get your ass killed. The heavy cruisers immediately intercept these convoy raiders. You, go for the light cruiser. Leopard. Sorry, Leopard. That's your target. But you got one launcher on the port and one launcher on the starboard, and we're going to have to make these things count. Everybody on the enemy team is interested in sinking the Leopard T5. That is very good news for my transports, because it might just buy them enough time to get out of dodge. And for my heavy cruisers to make sure that they do get out of dodge. Jaguars, that way. Oh, this is not good news. Leopard T5 taking quite a bit of damage. The Etna with all her guns, very capable of dealing with a torpedo boat. And meanwhile, the San Gabriel has already lost 30% of her buoyancy. And we are just getting started. Let's see when they switch fire to the Jaguar T7. Because believe me, that storming in torpedo boat is something far more dangerous. And they have just recognized the threat. Oh! Yep, welcome to the mechanic, where torpedo tubes can be destroyed on the ship. And with that explosion, all the torpedoes on the Jaguar T7 have been destroyed. That's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Torpedo boats used to be so good. Now look at them. They're pretty sad. They die so fast. So fast. San Gabriel is still flooding. Oh boy. Jaguar's not going to make it. It's an expensive loss at almost $1 million. Let's get the other Jaguar involved. Turning circle is terrible. T2. There's your target. Whenever you feel like it. Let's split off the 15. Get a bit of a shorter course going towards the target if I can. Go on. Stop playing with your food, leopards. Get in there. Get in there and start taking these things down so that we still might save the Jaguar, but I kind of doubt it. No, she's dead. That's troubling. But again, these guys were not really designed to take on heavy cruisers. They were essentially designed to go after battleships. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's problematic. Fortunately, these torpedoes are unreliable as fuck, so... I might get away with it. Why are you not launching? Hello. Is that something I said? Start launching your torpedoes. Jaguar's already dead. She's not going to be more dead if you accidentally torpedo. Oh, speaking of. The Jaguar T4 has dropped its careful... Well, not careful, but has dropped its payload. Sadly, Mezzano was already turning. Come on, give me the starboard torpedo launcher. Get it on the target. You're very close. 400 meters out. Torpedo away. But you never know with these guys. And this torpedo already seems to be off course. That's great. T-15, go for this. One torpedo just detonated. That looks like it's going to be a complete miss. You going. Turn. What a mess this one. What a mess this fight. We might just pincer the Mezzano between all the torps. We might just end up torping our own ship. I'm not sure yet. Torpedo away. Starboard side. Switch sides. Torpedo away. Port side. Urgent, please. Oh. That torpedo just turned. Torpedo away. Port side on the Leopard. Leopard's engines are out. This is unfortunate. Torpedo hits on the Mezzano. Torpedo hits something else as well. The Saigon. Leopard T5 sinks. These torpedo boats are far less resilient than I had expected. Oh, fuck. I think the Paiho might also be getting torped. You know what? Just retreat. Retreat. Hi-ho. This is your target. Very good. Saigon, down to half buoyancy. I need to start refitting these heavy cruisers to contain anti-flooding systems, because right now, they are awfully fragile. Is there something that you're waiting for? You got the perfect torpedo solution. Use it. Jesus. What is the Paiho doing? Doing some damage in, but it's taking a while. Huh? Whose shots are that? We have a battleship here. What? Oh! That's their other ship. Right. Ow. What is with these ships? My torpedo launchers are perfectly fine. Start torping already. Oh, San Gabriel has taken some torpedoes, hasn't she? No. Actually, 0 torps. She just got hit pretty hard. Yeah, she's done. Then the Mazzeno. The Italians are losing cruisers like there's no tomorrow. Or at least, maybe no tomorrow is a bit short, but there won't be a next month for them at this rate. Boom, more flooding. Standard bulkheads are not going to save you. Not enough. She did. Okay, Saigon, get out of here. Paiho, this is your target. Go for the light cruiser. Eliminate it. After a bit more fighting and a sudden eruption of the Etna, causing several flash fires, the convoy is safe, but at the expense of 2 of my Leopard and 1 Jaguar. I'm thinking that early on in the campaign the torpedo boats are great, because the enemy has so little to counter them with, but right now they just start dropping like flies without really doing much. The Leopard T-15 was able to land a torpedo, but the T-5, the T-7, they barely did anything. So I'm considering not building any further torpedo boats and waiting for potentially the destroyer class to come along and start getting those involved. Because I am going to need those destroyers to start countering, well, let's say fast movers. Right now, I'm still waiting until the Dreadnoughts come up, so let's get that done. Now, just as I'm waiting for the Dreadnoughts to be researched, the Perla, light cruiser of the Venezia class, makes an attack on La Rochelle. The only ships available to respond are 3 torpedo boats of the Jaguar class and 1 torpedo boat of the Leopard class. This is gonna get rough. The only thing I can try and do is just rush that thing with every ship at the same time. And hope that I can land enough torpedoes to really cause a lot of mayhap. Mayhap? To cause a lot of mayhem. Go line abreast. T-18 go to slow. Northwest. No. Don't avoid. Okay. Where's the light cruiser? Slightly up ahead. Let's go kill it. Contact up ahead. This is an unfortunate moment as my ships are still jockeying for position in the formation. That means that the torpedo boats will not effectively be able to strike all at the same time. Still, I need to make something happen here, or we're gonna take some hits on La Rochelle, which is not what I want to see. I'm gonna... Whoa! That's unfortunate. A 2-inch gun caused an ammo detonation on the light cruiser. That's interesting. All torpedo boats to flank speed, please. Go, go, go. That's the Perla. With her ammo detonation, almost all of her 4-inch ammunition has exploded. Meaning that those fast-firing 4-inch guns, well, relatively fast-firing compared to the 5.1s, are out of the fight. She has 4 of these, and another 4 of these, so they still have some ammo. They can still make something happen. How many 2-inch guns you got? Only 4. Alright, Jag. Let's go get him. Don't avoid, don't avoid, don't avoid. Damage to the main tower. Is that the Jaguar T8 or T8 doing that? Yeah, I believe it is. Perla can still launch torps in my direction with port and starboard torpedo launchers. Fun. Prepare the torpedo tubes. Aggressive launch, please. We're gonna try and box this guy in with the Jaguars. I really hope my torpedo tubes don't get blown up. Because that would cause all sorts of problems in taking this light cruiser down. Even though with the 2-inch guns I might be able to pull it off. And the Leopard's 4-inch heavy gun could actually do quite a lot of damage. I want you to slow for a bit. I want the Jag T9 to make its attack first. You're going to have to hold off as well. I'm kind of flushing the torpedo boats, or using the torpedo boats to flush the Perla back to the T8. Whether she'll take the bait, I don't know. She might. The Jag just launched. Wide spread of torpedoes. Oh, another ammo detonation. Another 2-inch hit the main belt, causing detonation of the ammo. Meaning that all her 4-inch ammunition is gone. Her 2-inch ammo seems fine. Yeah, she is very fucked. Torpedoes coming from here, torpedoes coming from there. At this rate, I might hit my own ship. And not the Perla. That would be unfortunate. Look at that, I missed everything. I missed a cross torp. That's how these torpedoes work these days. You just miss a cross torp. Yeah, that's how we roll. Careful not to veer back into the path of my own torpedoes now. I should still have one of the Jags, which is ready. Yeah, the 4. Oh, fuck. There's still all sorts of torpedoes coming. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. High explosive, please. Oh, your gun's probably not keeping up with the ship turn. Slow down. She has no ammo for her 5 or her 4.4-inch guns. All these torpedoes have run their course. Destroyed another main gun. I'd say the Perla has been pretty substantially disabled. The only guns that she still has left are 2-inch, but they seem to be underwater at this point. One port side's been destroyed, the starboard sides are pointing right down at the water. She has all engines damaged, another ammo explosion. Wow, this was one unfortunate light cruiser. That was a lot of damage. 306 victory points. Thank you. I hope this will teach the Italians not to mess with my ports. Or I shall be going to mess with theirs soon. And here they are, the Dreadnoughts. Dreadnought hull design. All the battleships and all the ironclads are now obsolete. Which means, I believe I cannot build any further of those. I mean, yes, I still have the design. Yeah, I could still build the Charles Martel if I want to. Because I still have the original designs. But, oh, fuck's sake. I need a bigger shipyard. I need a bigger shipyard. How much? We're getting there. If I cancel this, I'm going to lose part of the construction. No. This means another 5 or 6 months waiting. And I need to have, what was it, at least 17,005? 18,5? 18,5. But look at the size of that ship. Goes all the way up to 27,000 tons if you have a shipyard which is big enough. I currently do not. But I am sort of in a bind because I cannot build any new, or I cannot design any new dreadnoughts. Battleships, but I cannot design the new dreadnought either. So what I can do is continuously build my existing battleships or wait for the dreadnoughts. Considering how the war's going, I feel like at the moment I don't need any new battleships. So I can just wait out the time until the shipyard finishes construction. As for the rest, I got a lot of cash. Let's go invest in more transport capability and build my economy further. We'll just have to do those we'll have to do those dreadnoughts in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it so far. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I'll see you soon on episode 4.